welcome to another video of medical content from Hezekiah. Now, on today, we will be talking a little bit about academics, majorly embryology, nature of embryology. Embryology is a branch of anatomy. Anatomy in my school is divided into three. We have gross anatomy, we have histology, and we have embryology. I've talked on a video on gross anatomy. Is on my YouTube place right there. So now, what is even embryology? Embryology deals with the development of the fetus inside the womb of its mother, and for humans and other animals, it seems a little bit similar, but how they turn out to be is very different. Now, for this first phase of my medical school, I think I will divide this embryology into three parts. Number one is the development of the gametes, that is the sex cell, that is spermatozoa and the oocyte. Then there is also fusion of gametes, that is when the sperm and the oocyte the nuclei join to form a zygote. Then we have development of the fetus. Now, the resulting zygote that is formed from that process will now start divide mitotically, then to now implant into the wall of the uterus. Now, all this embryology is quite very, very fascinating. As in, although sometimes you find it, you read and forget. We'll talk about that. I'll go about that. But embryology is quite interesting. As in, even if you have a very good lecturer, when he's explaining it for you, then he has a little bit of his experience and what he has seen. I think my own teacher is a specialist in it. He went to Liverpool to study it, and he's back now. He's teaching us to the best of his ability. He's also the one that is taking on us gross anatomy, because we had two gross anatomy lectures. The first one took us up to axilla, and he is carrying it up to the end. But majorly we are dealing with embryology now, because I've already talked about gross anatomy. Now, for the development of the gametes. So gametes are haploid, while somatic cells are diploid. So I will not go into that, because that is not that I'm doing a tutorial about that. So we have three stages in this first phase: development of gametes, fusion of gametes, and development of fetus. Now, difficulty in remembering. That is how will I rate it? On the scale of 1 to 10, I think I will give it 5/10. Difficulty in remembering. Embryology is quite very interesting, although there are some aspects that sometimes I get stuck. I know that I will read in less than 2 days, I'll forget embryology, even though if I go back, sometimes the things get very frustrating. I think there was a particular time I was reading about development of ovarian follicle, in which the oocyte is placed. I know that thing very well, but anytime it comes for me to recall it, I find myself having difficulty. Why is very interesting. Embryology sometimes can be so frustrating. You will have difficulty in remembering the things that you will see that it should be easy for you. There was one day I was in school, I was yet to come back, because even though there was strike, me and my friend, we were reading. So I was trying to because I was finding it hard to remember it, I asked him. So he was not giving me the detailed output. I was saying to myself, it's not that I don't know this thing. I got frustrated. I lied down on the chair. So I was feeling bad. But one thing I now realize is that these things, they need practice. Although embryology, it's kind of, even though you are reading it from the textbook, try and get animations on YouTube, or you go to some website, and there's even this part, teach me anatomy. If you have teach me anatomy, I think there are parts of embryology in that teach me anatomy. In that app, you will have an easy access to embryology things that you can get, and they are very concise. And sometimes even after the end of the article they will give on that embryology lecture, they will also give you some questions that you can ask yourself from them. Then tips in remembering. Majorly, I think I was thinking I was kind of a visual learner, but I kind of discovered I'm more of a like detailed, like routine. I kind of learned something in a particular pattern. Even though sometimes if I see the image it helps, but I remember things in a particular pattern. Even in 100 level, there is this one called 1302. I remember I use the alphabet. Even I use alphabet, I will just arrange the alphabet into something that, like, there was one, I think, characteristics of polyphera. I was using like NBC tax code, like all those rough combinations. Like in terms of listing what I use alphabet mainly to bring them. So when I remember that particular alphabet, I will be able to give those characteristics. Even for these examples of endodermal tissue or mesodermal tissues, particularly for endoderm, let me give you an example, like tissues that arise from the endoderm. I use epithelial group, that is epithelial lining of GIT, epithelial lining of respiratory tract, epithelial lining of urinary tract, and epithelial lining of biliary tract. There's also parts of it. There's polyparts, that's parathyroid, parathyroid gland, liver, polyparts. That is pancreas and thyroid. Those are these things that originate from endoderm. There are also other parts, that is upper part of the female genital tract. Then we have uterus with it. So I think this is how embryology is. Embryology is very interesting and complicated in the same way. So I urge, when you are learning embryology, you should add, like when learning it, you should have an animation of it, have a textbook, and also have a pattern that you use to learn it. And also when you're having a test for that subject, even though there are other activities, solely focus. If it's embryology I'm having for if I'm having a test tomorrow, I will focus. If I'm reading, I'm only reading that subject today, so that all the things I've learned before, I will brush it. Then I will have a vivid picture of it in my head before writing that test. So thank you again for watching this video. So I will see you in the next